Hi, I am Nina Simone, and I'm dropping in real time today because I wanted to bring something to the channel that I've been seeing a lot lately. Um, I've experienced this for myself, as well as I see this with clients that I coach, and I have parents that I personally know who is currently going through this. And oh, and just FYI, it's very sunny here today. So I'm trying to like stay out of the sun a little bit so it won't affect the video. So you see me leaning a little bit. But anyway, on my channel, it's dedicated to parents of adult prodigal children. And if you've noticed lately, I've added some videos that is speaking to the um, adult prodigal also. And the reason for that is because I previously was an adult prodigal myself in my 20s, all the way up to my late 20s, early 20s to late 20s. I was an adult prodigal. And now that I'm a parent of an adult prodigal. So I've been on both sides. I see and understand both sides. And I felt like I needed to bring that to my channel only because I want the adult children to get an understanding of what the parents are going through and what it's like for them, and vice versa. I want the parents to get an understanding of the prodigal children, not to enable them or make excuses, but so both sides can understand one another and hopefully come to reconciliation and hopefully be victorious on the other side of this journey. Okay, so you're gonna see more videos directed to the parents and the adult children as well. So I've been seeing this scenario happen a lot to the point I brought it to a video. It's quick, short, but the adult prodigal that I am referring to is usually someone in their 20s, their 30s, and even their 40s. Now, it's not limited to that age because we have older adults who have strayed, and as you all know, we are all somebody's child. So it's not limited to just 20 through 40. It can be anyone, any scenario. And I hope you find yourself in some of these scenarios and it can be helpful. But the title is Let the Consequence Teach What You Can't. And that video title came as a result of, again, what I'm seeing in personal family members or personal friends, in clients, as well as I've had this experience. But whether your adult child has been home the whole time or left home and had to return for some reason, I'm speaking to the adult child as well as the parent, and I go back and forth. But a lot of parents of adult children quietly carry this kind of stress behind closed doors. Your adult child may get a new opportunity or a new job or a fresh start, and you, the parent, want so badly for them to do well because you know what's at stake, and you know that in the past one bad pattern led to another, and it could cost them something important. It can cost them the job. It could cost them whatever situation they're in, that they're trying to better themselves, what have you, right? So naturally, as a parent, you step in to help. Maybe you have to remind them of something repeatedly, or you keep checking on them. Maybe you try to prevent them from falling behind with something. Maybe you start carrying responsibility that really belongs to them. And at first, it sounds and feels loving, but eventually, something starts happening emotionally inside of you, the parent. You become anxious, hyper alert, or you constantly watching, constantly trying to make sure they don't mess up their own life. But meanwhile, The adult child slowly becomes less responsible for managing themselves or their responsibilities because someone else or even you keeps stepping in to soften the blows, to soften the consequences. And this is where a lot of parents struggle because sometimes helping turns into rescuing, and rescuing can quietly become enabling. Now, there are adult children who tend to stay up all night doing the things that they want to do, things they enjoy, things they big and bad to do, like gaming, scrolling, watching TV, listening to music, drinking, smoking, entertaining company, whatever, right? But then they struggle to get up for the work or project or school or whatever it is that's important. They struggle to get up the next morning. And you as the parent, you see the problem clearly. And you as the parent, you know they're risking their job or that project or that situation or that opportunity. So you, the parent, starts to step in every morning trying to wake them up because they're not hearing their alarm clock. They're not getting up. You're trying to save the situation before the consequences happen or settle in, right? But here's the difficult truth. If an adult child can stay awake all night for what they want to do, but cannot consistently wake themselves up for what they need to do, then eventually life has to teach them what responsibility feels like. And sometimes parents, we accidentally interrupt that lesson because our love hurts to see them go through that or to watch it. And what makes it even harder is when we as parents are trying to help, but we get irritation from them. We get anger. We get disrespect from our child, right? And that creates emotional tension in the home because now you're exhausting yourself as a parent because you're trying to protect them, your child, who is now upset with you that you've been involving yourself into their affairs to help them. And a lot of parents, you reach this painful realization. Okay, I'm trying harder to protect their future than they are. And that's heartbreaking. And this is where boundaries become necessary. Not because you stop loving your child, but because you realize love cannot live their life for them. And sometimes consequences need to become their teacher. Sometimes being late repeatedly can teach them more than your lectures can ever do. Sometimes losing an opportunity can teach them what a conversation with you can't. Sometimes discomfort becomes the very thing that finally wakes your child up emotionally and mentally. And as parents, we often think if I don't step in, they're going to fail, or it's not going to happen, or something's not going to go the way it needs to go. But sometimes constantly stepping in prevents adulthood from developing fully. And let me say this too, because I know some parents carry guilt. Allowing consequences is not cruelty. It's reality. It's maturity. It's understanding that adulthood comes with responsibility and discipline and accountability. Son, you can love your adult child and still pray for them and encourage them and still stop carrying responsibilities that belong to them. That is one of the hardest transitions in parenting an adult child. Not controlling them, not rescuing, not over-functioning, but standing back enough to let life speak for itself. And trust me, that hurts sometimes. Especially when you know they have potential, when you know they're capable of more, especially when you can already see where certain choices are leading them. But growth often begins the moment someone feels the weight of their own decisions. And some lessons parents cannot be taught. it has to come from experience. And I know you heard the saying, experience is the best teacher. So if you're in this season right now, you are not alone. A lot of parents are learning the painful difference between supporting an adult child and carrying them. And that's a very hard lesson for us parents too. So hang in there. It's going to be all right. You got this.